y'all? We are back to Coconut Heads.
Yes. Yes, I'm your boy, Just Your Thoughts, and I'm here with my lovely co-host.
Nikki says you only live once.
Yes, and today we're here to talk to you guys about a movie we just seen. What's the name of this movie? Sinners, yes, directed by your boy Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan, Miles Caton,
Delroy Lindo.
Yes, and many others. Actually.
Miles Caton as well.
Miles Caton, I said Caton or Miles Caton.
It's all good. Okay, so y'all, I'm not a big like horror type of genre viewer, but I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. It was a great film. But I wouldn't really say it wasn't that scary. If I was able to keep my eyes open the entire time, which I did, it wasn't that scary.
Big shout outs to Ryan Coogler as a writer, film writer, and director. This man knows how to tell stories because from the beginning of this film, I was pretty much locked in. It was a period piece. In the South, 1932, Southern Mississippi. It was about twin brothers,
Smoke and Stack,
who were war veterans, who were also gangsters who went to Chicago and decided, after they made a lot of money and wanted to leave that gangster lifestyle alone, they came back to their hometown in Mississippi to open up a juke joint.
Listen here, I had no idea that Michael B. Jordan played two characters. I was like, wait a minute. When the movie first started, I was like, they look alike. And I was like, oh shit. That's actually him playing two characters. Yes. I had no idea.
Yes. One thing to my awareness, which I had no idea, was the Chinese people who lived in the South were Christian folks who lived amongst African American people at that time. So that was
dope, yo. I'm like, what are Chinese people doing in Mississippi in 1932? Like, there was Chinese folks. I'm keeping it real, but it was cool to see them.
I was familiar with Chinese being in America, of course, right? Because a lot of them built the railroads and everything. But I've known of them.
Didn't slaves build the railroads?
No.
The Chinese built the railroads back then? I'm being so genuine right now.
Yeah. The Chinese built the railroads. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But the slaves had nothing to do with the railroads?
The slaves was doing mostly sharecropping and farming.
But what about the highways as well? The turnpike, I-95,
Okay, you had Native Americans that was also building a lot of these things. So basically, like the Chinese, Native Americans, African Americans, they pretty much built America for the most part. But but what I was saying is that I've known of Chinese folks in the West. But I never thought about Chinese being in like Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, in these areas,
They were doing pretty good because they were business people. They owned like their own businesses. So
post-slavery, you had a lot of business owners.
Yeah, of course, you had the white business owners and the black ones, but Chinese, I would not have thought that there would have been Chinese business owners at that time in Mississippi.
Delroy Lindo, he stole the film for me.
He did.
Every scene this man was on, he just shined.
The whole time when he was in character, I was looking at his grill, and I was like, "Damn, how much he paid for them? How much did them grills cost back then in 1932?" Because he had a lot of money. Well, but the money went towards drinking. But I'm like, he had some grills, y'all. 1932 wearing some grills.
They had to get dental work done, and I guess if you.
I was just thinking about how much he paid for them grills back then. But go ahead.
Yeah, look, Smoke and Stack had grills too.
I know, but they had money.
But you're right. I noticed those grills too. See Delroy Lindo as an old man, 72-year-old man wearing them grills.
Did it.
That was what's up. Shout outs to Miles that played the character Sammy. He brought the music. He has a grown man voice.
It was deep.
17 years old. He had a grown man voice.
He's 17?
His character was 17. Wow. The music.
Yes, the music was beautiful.
This movie reminds me of Dusk Till Dawn, but it wasn't Dusk Till Dawn. It was like much better. It was also a musical, and even the vampires themselves had their music.
Yeah, they had like the blues. The vampires who were white, they had like their music as well. So it was well depicted in both cultures.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. There was a particular scene where Sammy was doing his thing in a juke joint where he started playing and singing. That's when he brought out the spirits of the ancestors with all of the music. And that scene was a powerful scene because it showed you how blues had a huge impact on all of our music to today.
But that particular scene, I don't want to give anything away, but that scene showed a timeline of the root of where music is today, in a sense. There were visuals and also audio to go with it. And I was like, dang.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah. From our ancestors in Africa to the drums to blues to where things are right now. Like
hip hop, you name it.
It was a beautiful scene. And speaking of music and culture, like the vampires, so Jack O'Connell, he was the main vampire, and his character was Remick, I believe. Yeah, Remick. So they played their music as well, and they would dance.
They had a cool little tune.
They had a cool little
tune that it was jamming to, you know.
Yeah.
It was dope. I was stomping my feet. I was like, okay, vampires, do your thing. All right.
Yeah.
All right, but you can't get in the club, though. All right.
But the way how that scene showed a depiction of our ancestors, the black ancestors, then they also did show parts of the white ancestors as well. The blues, that's black folks' music. But then with the vampires, they have their music as well. And when they dance, I noticed it was clogging. They were doing the little, you know when they, no, that's Ireland, that's Irish, because they were doing the leg thing, and they was, you know how
Like
with the Irish dance. When they be tap dancing, but it's I think it's called clogging, I want to say. But that's what I mean by, as far as the movie paid tribute as well to their ancestors. Why would Ryan, the director, incorporate river dancing into this film?
It was like that one musical scene, right? You notice there was all types of different, because the music was mostly about the spiritual aspect of music itself, and even how the singing of Miles, or Sammy, right, the character Sammy, how his singing was so powerful. Not only did it conjure the spirits of the ancestors, but it was also so good that it conjured negative spirits as well.
But Sammy was also a preacher's son as well, which drew the vampires to him even more, because he was a preacher's son.
He was the son of a preacher.
And his dad was a musician as well.
What really drew the vampires wasn't the fact that he was a preacher's son, was the fact that his music was so powerful.
Yeah.
Everyone hears it, including evil, including the vampires. But yeah, let's talk about the twins, you know, Smoke and Stack. You know, Stack was more the easygoing, laid back, chill, you know. He was the one who had I think she was like 1/4% black.
I don't know what the hell she was.
She was like 1/4%
I was trying
black.
to figure her out.
I mean, her daddy.
Yeah, she's biracial.
She's like 75% white. Yeah, I mean, she definitely passed for white, you know. So there was a particular scene.
Her name is Mary. Haley Steinfeld.
Oh, Haley Steinfeld. Her character was the reason
I kind of knew. Look, I knew it. We don't want to give anything away, but it was her character and her role and the plot is so symbolic.
The brothers Smoke, which was the more strict twin, he was the one that was like, nah, let's not let him in. Like, no. There was some vampire tropes, of course, like a vampire cannot come in unless you invite them in, right? Other vampire tropes, such as you get bitten by a vampire, you automatically become a vampire. You know, garlic is bad to them, silver is bad to them. Sunlight is bad to them, and if you want to kill them, a wooden stake to them. And
oh my God, what about Omar Benson Miller? Cornbread.
Like Omar Benson, he's been in the movies for
a while.
Yeah.
He deserved his flowers.
I always see him in those important films, but he's always a side character, but a side character that is always interesting, you know. He was definitely someone that shined in this film.
Annie, she's a Nigerian American actress, but I really enjoyed her character.
Yes.
She was so voluptuous, and she was so like, is it voodoo? What was she practicing? I don't know. Is it spiritual spells?
It was like voodoo.
It was like voodoo. Okay, but yeah, she was like that character that she had like discernment and intuition.
She knew. She had the information. She had the knowledge. She knew how. But
she's like a witch. She's like a witch. She's a witch.
Like there's not one character I say, oh, they could have been